By now, the fleet is starting to spread out. The shortest distance between Newport and Ensenada, the Rum Line, is not necessarily the best route to take. Some navigators will reach out to sea, hoping to pick up in speed what they will have to make up in distance. Others will go inshore, hoping in part to pick up an offshore breeze come nightfall. The only obstacle on the course are the Coronado Islands, lying 5 miles offshore just south of San Diego.
A weak upper-level ridge continues along the west coast with mostly fair weather for Southern California through the weekend.
This afternoon, the weather has provided the usual light onshore flow. The F-27s and the Mega $70 Raiders, both good in light airs, have left most of the fleet behind. Of course, they're not quite in front. Connor's Stars and Stripes, perhaps the fastest multi-hull in the world, is up on one hull and heading down the coast towards her home port of San Diego. By now, the afternoon breeze has clocked north, and the boats are able to set their spinnakers. Mike Mitchie, skippering the original F-27, Super Fox, is the first to raise his chute. Seeing that his is flying successfully, the others quickly follow suit. With their chutes up, the F-27s pick up speed, moving now at 10 knots in the light afternoon breeze. Around them, the fleet spreads out. A patriotic schooner flies a flag as big as some boats' jibs. Lady Godiva stretches to catch all the wind with a crazy patchwork quilt of Kevlar. Aboard the Swan 57, Ms. Blue, East Coast sailor Walter Cronkite gets a taste of California sailing. The wind holds through the afternoon, and the F-27s speed down the coast. But with the setting sun, the wind begins to die, and off La Jolla it looks improbable that Stars and Stripes can break the record. Aboard Super Fox, we settled in for a night on the ocean. Early Saturday morning, Stars and Stripes ghosted across the Ensenada finish line.
The wind just continued to get lighter and lighter during the early evening, and as you can see here now, it's basically glassed off. It took us 7 hours to go the last 10 miles, so that's sailboat racing. But I think we'll probably do all right on corrected time, because it's going to be hard for many of the other boats to go very far in this relatively calm situation.
Do you think you'll still win the race?
Well, I'm not sure. We'd like to think so, but have to wait for morning and see if there's anybody else around.
Many people say that light air is the real test of sailors and boats. If that's so, the F-27s passed with flying colors in the light conditions that night. Although there was hardly enough breeze to blow a match out, the boats kept their steady pace south toward Mexico. As we passed Chula Vista, the last town on the U.S. coast and home of Corsair Marine, we again toasted the guys in the factory who had built the boat light, strong, and fast. The PVC core used in the F-27 helps give the boat its high strength-to-weight ratio, enhancing all-round performance. By 10 Saturday morning, the wind has begun to fill in, and the boats again begin to pick up speed. In this light air, a delicate hand on the tiller and a close eye on the spinnaker is the way to win the race. By now, most of the fleet has entered Mexican waters. This year, it was a mistake to go outside, and those who did are still back with the fishing boats off the Coronado Islands. Inside, the leaders, John Walton in Corsair and Mike Mitchie in Super Fox, are off Rosarita Beach, fighting the temptation to turn in toward Ensenada too early. At 1 in the afternoon, Corsair is the first of the F-27s to cross the finish line. Meanwhile, friends, wives, and traveling companions are driving south to Ensenada with vans, trailers, and cruising supplies. Whether they've come by water or land, it's definitely another country. After the $200 designer sunglass shops, the Ferrari dealerships, and the $500,000 starter homes of Newport, it's a fair culture shock crossing south of the border. The race has turned several Ensenada establishments into institutions, most notably Husong's Cantina, an unprepossessing little bar which has now become a major retail chain and brewery. Dos cervezas, por favor. The fleet fills up the harbor, or in Spanish, the Ensenada of Ensenada. Aboard Cronkite's Ms. Blue, there's no doubt who the anchorman should be. But after a brief stay in the grimy waters of Ensenada Harbor, the F-27s, which with their boards up draw so little water they can go almost anywhere, head 4 miles south to surf into a shallow, protected, and quiet bay. If you like gunk-holing and beachcombing, the F-27 is the perfect boat. And if you do run aground, there's no need for trauma. Pull your centerboard up and you're on your way.